Laughter. It's just the body, but my mind stays intact. Bodies change, yet some things remain indivisible. Welcome back, vault dwellers and lovers of horror. Today, we're plunging into gloriously strange B-movie horror. We're talking films where the blood looks like ketchup, monsters resemble the director's cousin in a Halloween costume, and the plots, well, don't worry about them. They barely exist. We're exploring a collection of wildly insane horror B-movies featuring killer spiders, haunted houses, slow-moving zombies, and frankly, whatever else happens on screen. Get ready for these chaotic cinematic wonders that make horror such a delightfully strange genre. Let's dive in. Music. Zot, the catfish monster rises. Creepy Maxim, your days are numbered. Listen closely, Leopold. Zot, also known as the Blood Waters of Dr. Z, is an underwater nightmare about a mad scientist who turns himself into a catfish-human hybrid to get revenge on the scientific world, or maybe just anyone who dislikes fish. The movie never clarifies. He wanders through Florida in what appears to be a papier-mâché and algae costume, or possibly a Christmas tree, occasionally injecting growth serum into local wildlife. What makes this film so gloriously bad is its total commitment to the absurd premise. The monster resembles a moldy sleeping bag with ping-pong ball eyes more than a real aquatic creature. The science is just flowing liquids in fish tanks and bubbling beakers that serve no purpose. Yet somehow it became a cult classic, proving that sometimes the worst films are the most entertaining. Track of the Moon Beast, Lizard Man by Moonlight. Surprisingly entertaining, the world of science agrees. An asteroid is on a collision course with the moon. This oddball sci-fi horror follows Paul, a meteorologist struck by moon rock during a meteor shower. Rather than filing an insurance claim, he starts transforming into a murderous lizard during full moons. Scientists try to help him, his girlfriend becomes increasingly worried, and a Native American professor blames ancient legend. The film also features multiple performances of the infamous folk song California Lady, sung with a croaky voice that lingers in your nightmares. Its charm lies in the deadpan treatment of the ridiculous premise. The transformation effects look unfinished, making the monster resemble a melted action figure rather than something fearsome. Dialogue is delivered as if reading a phone book. Comedy unintentionally erupts when Paul hits his head while protecting someone from a meteorite. Featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000, it's a beautiful disaster even without commentary. House, Killer Piano Madness. This Japanese haunted house film defies conventional plot summary. A schoolgirl visits her aunt's countryside home with 6 friends, all named after personality traits. The house, literally hungry, devours them in increasingly bizarre ways. A floating head bites their backsides, a killer piano wreaks havoc, skeletons dance, a bloodthirsty cat painting, and a refrigerator that does inexplicable things. The film feels like a fever dream from someone who's never watched a horror movie, but may have consumed too many hallucinogens. Directed by Noah Obashi, formerly a commercial director, the aesthetic feels like a psychedelic shampoo ad gone wrong. Special effects are deliberately unrealistic, using animation, collage, and obvious blue screens to create a haunted funhouse vibe. Colorful, nonsensical, and utterly unique, it's like eating too many Skittles and dozing off to The Shining.
Zombie Nation, the Undead Goth Crew. Investigation, Mr. Singer. You may seek legal counsel and need not answer questions. This film follows a corrupt cop who murders women and somehow revives them as zombies via voodoo, or maybe random magic, as the movie never explains. The undead women pursue revenge, guided by a confused voodoo priestess. Acting is worse than community theater, dialogue feels doubly mistranslated, and zombie makeup is minimal. The film fascinates because it seems unaware of basic cinematic logic. Camera work often appears to deliberately miss action, and the director, once competent, seems lost by the time this direct-to-DVD mess was made. A train wreck you cannot look away from. Night of the Ghouls, Seance Shenanigans. Faint if you must. The story follows former humans turned monsters existing between the living and the dead. Ed Wood's sequel to Bride of the Monster centers on a fraudulent psychic conning clients with fake seances until real supernatural events raise the dead. True to Ed Wood form, the sets are flimsy, dialogue is stilted, and Tor Johnson reprises his zombified Lobo role. Lost for decades due to unpaid lab fees, it resurfaced in the 80s. Its charm comes from earnest incompetence. Ghosts are literal people in sheets, Objects move on visible strings, and continuity errors abound. Passion outweighs polish. Kingdom of the Spiders, Shatner vs. Thousands. This film terrified me as a child. William Shatner plays a veterinarian discovering that pesticides caused Arizona tarantulas to unite and attack humans. Thousands of real spiders were used, with Shatner often in genuine terror. Director John Cardos reportedly endured 140 spider bites, demonstrating a near-sadistic dedication. The ending is surprisingly downbeat, and Shatner delivers lines about spider behavior with Shakespearean intensity. The best worst or worst best spider movie. I still cannot decide. Trick or Treat, Metal Mayhem. Heavy metal star Sammy Kerr dies in a hotel fire. His biggest fan accidentally summons his vengeful spirit by playing Kerr's last record backward. The ghost uses rock-powered electricity to attack a high school. The film both satirizes 80s suburban panic over metal and celebrates music culture. Cameos include Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne fictionalized versions. Music-themed kills abound. Guitars electrocute, cassette tapes strangle. The special effects for Sammy's emergence still hold up, making the absurd genuinely creepy. Mako. The Jaws of Death, Shark Vigilante. A misanthropic loner receives a magical shark medallion from a Filipino shaman, allowing telepathic communication with sharks. He becomes a shark-avenging vigilante, using his finned friends to punish anyone who threatens them. Like Aquaman, but angrier. Unlike Jaws, humans are the villains and sharks the heroes. Real underwater shots of sharks are surprisingly effective, and the film delivers an unusual environmental message. The ending is ironic. He loses the medallion and is killed by the sharks he protected, a bizarre PSA involving telepathy, strippers, and gallons of fake blood. The Majorettes, Baton Twirling Killer. A psychotic killer with trauma-induced hatred for baton twirlers targets college squads. Shot with the production value of a middle school talent show, the film evolves unpredictably. Characters disappear, new plots emerge, and the killer's identity constantly shifts. Director William Hinman creates genuinely creepy stalking moments, but the story's randomness, with biker gangs, cults, and vengeful nurses, makes it compelling despite narrative chaos. From Beyond, Pineal Gland Pandemonium. Stuart Gordon's follow-up to Reanimator stars Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton. Scientists create the Resonator, a machine that stimulates the pineal gland, allowing humans to see creatures from other dimensions who are hungry for brains. Transformations are grotesque, and practical effects still impress decades later. Themes of forbidden knowledge and obsessive curiosity are explored, with a psychedelic color palette enhancing the otherworldly atmosphere. The Crawling Eye, Tentacle Eyeball Terror. This British sci-fi horror follows an investigator and psychic battling alien tentacled eyes lurking in Swiss mountain clouds. The 1950s effects are charmingly unconvincing, eyes on strings with fake eyelashes, but the isolated mountain setting builds tension. Despite laughable creature reveals, the film's atmosphere and Cold War paranoia give it enduring appeal. Blood Freak, Turkey-headed anti-drug monster. A Vietnam veteran consumes genetically modified turkey while on drugs, transforming into a turkey-headed monster craving addicts' blood. A narrator lectures on drug dangers while chain-smoking. The papier-mâché turkey head is hilariously obstructive. Religious messaging collides with gore, creating a bizarre, unforgettable tone. King of the Zombies, World War II voodoo horror. A 1941 plane crash on a Caribbean island exposes survivors to a voodoo doctor raising zombies. African-American actor Manton Moreland, known for comedic roles, becomes the main hero navigating the zombie plot. Comedy and horror blend, with minimal but effective zombie makeup, produced on a shoestring budget by Monogram Pictures. Nominated for music awards, the film bridges early voodoo zombie movies and later flesh-eating zombie cinema, showing that fringe horror often produces the most imaginative, lasting creations. Before you start scrolling streaming services complaining, remember, a whole universe of wonderfully weird horror awaits. Check your turkey meat for genetic modifications and keep it weird, folks.